Well, today's episode is going to be a little different than I normally do since it's Monday. Apparently, AEW Dark Elevation has the best stuff, so basically, there's no point because I review every match. But, however, I am going to be reviewing the last whatever I have left from the GCW events, such as the Collective, which we're gonna do today. We got Joey Janela's Spring Break 7th, which features, of course, the GCW World Tag Team titles on the line. Kota Ibushi makes his second appearance facing off Joey Janela. And of course, we got Emo Fight, which is a very interesting show. And of course, recently, Stardom has put out a press conference regarding New Blood 8. There will be two title matches involving in that. We will be talking about each of the matches. And of course, a very interesting special match as the main event that you guys are definitely gonna love. But also we got some news updates regarding on Mercedes Moné, WWE, interesting developments between Chavo Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, and various other things. So let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with GCW Joey Janela's Spring Break 7th that recently took place on the 31st of March. Now, I know I'm a little behind on this. I mentioned this countless times, but however, I want to do this. Let's get the show on the road. Our opening match is a scramble match, but they're calling this one a grab the brass ring DLC match. So basically, probably they'll get a world title opportunity. But here's who we have. We have Gringo Loco versus Commander versus Jack Cartwheel versus Billy Starks versus Shane Mercer versus Tony Deppen versus Alec Price and versus Cole Radrick. However, all 8 competitors were already inside, but one decided to integrate himself in there to do whatever it can to be at the top. We're talking about the most despicable person in GCW, Blake Christian. Now, he has done this before, integrate himself in a brass ring, and he shows up dressing up like effing Shawn Michaels. I don't know what he was thinking about doing this, but I'm sure everybody knows he's a pain in the butt. But you probably would have thought this match would have ended by with someone else. No, once again, Christian got away with it by applying a stomp on Billy Starks when she had Alec Price pinned, but he pinned the whole thing. And then he gets into it with the referee once again. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully, I was hoping that he does get suspended or something, but he didn't. He played it smart. But I'm sure he wants one thing in mind, which is the GCW World Title that currently is held by Max Slamovich. Next up, we got the GCW World Tag Team titles on the line. We have the East West Express, consistent of Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. That's right. I thought this match was incredible. I mean, we know that Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver have been a formidable tag team since they formed together. Jordan Oliver took Nick Wayne under his wing. I thought this match was amazing. One thing that you know for a fact they're going to pull off an amazing cloud cutter, and they did. They applied it onto was it again on Saban, but however Oliver was able to pin Saban while Nick actually took care of Alex Shelley to prevent him, and we have brand new GCW World Tag Team Champions. So we'll be seeing more of them as champions. We'll see how they're going to go from there on. Now, as you know, GCW had a great time bringing in the guys from DDT, and they brought in someone who has already been established himself in GCW. We're talking about Yoshihiko. You know, he's a proud wrestler we get to enjoy and all this other stuff. But however, the party was crashed by none other than that sick individual, Charles Mason, who thinks that Yoshihiko is a joke, DDT is a joke, and all this other stuff. But uh, Yoshihiko took care of Pero. Charles Mason doesn't know what to do because he just went ballistic. So that kind of went out of the window. So I wouldn't be surprised if he challenged them. Now, our next match, this was a pretty awesome match. We have Hijo del Vikingo taking on Mike Bailey. Now, you know this match is going to be a banger. I mean, the crazy, insane stunts that Vikingo can do, you know it's going to be crazy. Not to mention applying the Canadian Destroyer on the apron. That's one. But it took only a 630 by Hijo de Vikingo to put away Mike Bailey. I thought it was a pretty amazing match. Now, our next match, we have Bussy, Effie and Alley Catch taking on Maki Def Kill. This is a one time only between both Maki Ito and Nick Gage teaming up. And I thought this match was pretty good. You probably would have assumed that this was going to be brutal. I mean, not to mention, Maki Ito used the pizza cutter to cut open Masha Slamovich and all that, but it took only a DDT onto Effie and, of course, a pinfall by Nick Gage onto um, Ali to pick up the win, and that was pretty it. But however, during the post match, they were viciously attacked by none other than Matt Cardona and Steph the Landers, who felt that it's disgraceful that they were not even invited to Spring Break, and they felt that their vision of saving GCW was being tarnished. So basically, people were telling them to shut the f up. But Masha Slamovich shows up and decides to put her GCW World Title on the line against Steph the Landers, and it did. It kind of went into that direction. I mean, Steph the Lander was not even in gear, but Masha was here for a fight, no matter what. But of course, Matt Cardona was going to get involved, try to ensure the match goes their way. But unfortunately, Nick and Maki Ito showed up to kick his ass, send him to next week. But it took only a chokehold by Masha Slamovich to put away Steph the Landers and force her to tap out. Now, our main event, this is one we've been expecting for a long time. Kota Ibushi making a second appearance in GCW. He takes on the bad boy Joe Janela. You know this match was also going to be good. I was so impressed, not to mention Joey Janela was bloody beaten, but it took only a Kamigoye to put away Joey Janela for Kota Ibushi, and of course, Ibushi embraced the fans, and Joey Janela tells him, "Welcome back, Ibushi." So I think this is great that we are expecting him to come back to where he goes. There's talk about him possibly heading to AEW. We just don't know yet. We know he's been talking recently about them. So I think that's pretty much it with this GCW show. I believe we're going to do Emo Fight. Okay, so right now we're going to be doing GCW Emo Fight. This one took place on the 31st, much like Joey Janela's Spring Break. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with Emo Fight, everybody is emo. Like you just, don't give a damn, that sort of thing. But um, it opened up with a scramble match. We have Jimmy Lloyd versus Starboy Charlie Sonico, Matt Vandegrift, B-Boy, and of course Sawyer Rex. So this is a very interesting matchup. I did like how B-Boy was, how he was the entire time. But there was some great moments outside of the ring. I was a little worried about um, Vandegrift since he went off out of the ring, might have hurt himself, but he seems okay. But it took only a 450 splash onto Sonico that allowed him to pick up the win. Now, in between matches, we have people performing. We have this guy named Little Aaron. I don't know who the hell he is, but he performed two songs. So basically, that kind of ended just like that. Now, our next match, we have a three-way match. We have Brooke Havoc versus Janai Kai versus what's her name? Sandra Moon. Now, Janai Kai, she went into emo state. Like she just acted like I don't care. She was like right in the corner while Havoc and Moon tries to antagonize her to get her into the match, but it had no good. Now, Janai Kai ended up being in the corner, but however, it took a chokehold by Janai Kai onto Havoc to force her not to, well, trying to force her to tap, but however, um, Havoc did not tap out. She just passed out. Referee made the choice. It was over right from there. Now, our next performer we have is Horsehead. I don't know who he is. He played two songs, but yeah. Next up, we got Kevin Blackwood versus the Zombie Princess, Jimmy Jacobs. I thought this match was also good. I mean, I enjoyed every moment of it. But I mean, Jimmy Jacobs, you know who he is. He's so intense of what he can do in the ring. But it took only a guillotine headlock for him to put away Kevin Blackwood, and that was it. Now, final performance. So we had a guy named Wicca Face Spring Eternal. Don't know much about this artist, but yeah. So let's just skip it. But our main event, we have a three-way tag match. We have Wasted Youth, Marcus Mathers, and Dylan McKay versus Los Macizos, Ciclopse, and Miedo Extremo versus Moonlight Express, consistent of Mao and Mike Billy. I have to say, this match was also pretty good. I think it was pretty amazing for what it can do. I mean, people who don't are still unfamiliarized about Mike Billy with his tag partner with Mao. You wouldn't believe what he can do, but yeah, so it was great. But it was, of course, a thunder tornado driver by both members of the Moonlight Express to put away what's his name, McKay. 1, 2, 3. It was over right from there. So I think that's pretty much it with GCW Emo Fight. I believe it's time to jump to gears and talk about the upcoming matches for Stardom New Blood 8. Okay, New Blood 8. This was a press conference conducted by Stardom, so let's see what we have. Now, as you know, Waka Tsukiyama now enters the phrase as a senior wrestler, knowing that, she's now training juniors. And one of her juniors is, in fact, newcomer Aya Sakura. Now, the translation on what was going on a little bit, I wasn't sure. Apparently, certain trainees find Waka Tsukiyama annoying. I'm like, ouch, that must have hurt. But if I was Sakura, I would be more careful what she say because now that Waka's in her winning ways, anything is a possibility. So I have to say that's messed up. Now this next match, I am sold on this one. I'm kind of invested. We have two pairs of sisters of two different martial arts background. We have the Hanan sisters, mostly Hana and Hina, who are experts in judo. Now they face the Inaba sisters, Tomoka and Asura, um, from Just Tap Out. And their expertise, they are karate experts. So now the obvious question you probably ask yourselves, who will win between judo and karate? Well, some people can say karate has a much better winning ways, so that most likely. But however, Hanan was by herself. Her sister Hina was not present. It sucks, but yeah, I'm kind of interested in this match. Now, our next match, we have a tag team match. We have Masakurai teaming up with Chanyota. They take on Suzu Suzuki and Mei Sira. Now, Suzuki was not present at the time. Um, Basically, it's still unclear why, but once again, Chanyota had her usual shenanigans when it comes to Rossy Ogawa. The few times they interacted, she had Rossi spar with her, try these eggs and carrots and all this, but some sort of liquid drink that she gave him. I don't know what it is, but like I said, Shanyota's usual shenanigans with Rossi Ogawa, but we'll see what happens then. Now, our next match is a passion injection match. We have, of course, Nanane Takahashi in a match against Ruka. Now, Ruka actually had her issues towards Nanane for a while, calling her an old hag. Wrestlers like her, they believe that they should be running things. But however, Nanane is a veteran in the game, and that's why she's been declared as the first ever Wonder of Stardom champion. So I'm kind of curious how this one is going to be between those two. Now, the Supernova Challenge continues. Our resident Supernova, Miyu Amasaki, challenges Momo Watanabe. Now, this match was issued by her during a match that took place in the backstage, but Momo Watanabe is not too intrigued by her. But in her honest opinion, she feels like Amasaki should have been more careful what she does because she may not like where she's going to get into. So that's going to be interesting. Next match, we have the Future of Stardom Championship. We have Ami Sourei defending it against Rina. Now, Rina has often talked about how she claims this will be the year where she picks up the win, and she's sick and tired of wrestlers who are older than her, but saying this title are meant for younger people like herself, who's still in her teens, But uh, basically, she feels like people like in their 30s or in their 20s, they have no business whatsoever holding that title. We already seen that with many wrestlers before with her, but that's how it is. Our next title match, we have the New Blood Tag Team titles. Our current champions, Starlight Kid and Karma, face off the tallest women in Stardom, Hanako and Lady C. Karma was not present, but however, I thought it was so funny that we saw Hanako and Lady C carry the kid out of the press conference. I don't know where they took her, but it was crazy. Now, this next in our main event final match that was booked is Tam Nakano versus Tam Nakano, but is in fact now Ishikawa. Now, if you guys remember, recently now Ishikawa left Ice Ribbon, but recently, 8 days ago, there was reports about her interacting with Julio. Now, we don't know what it was that all about, but she tried to impersonate Tam Nakano throughout the entire press conference. But however, I think Tam is suspicious about her, like trying to find out why did Julia send her to instigate something with her, but we don't know yet. This is going to be very interesting to see. I mean, people are talking about the two Tam Nakanos. Well, we'll see what happens. So I think that's pretty much it with Stardom's press conference. I believe it's time for some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So this is what we have now. Stuff coming out from WWE. You may have heard the interesting developments. CM Punk was spotted in WWE's backstage for Raw in Chicago. Now, there's still no indication why he was there, but however, the reports saying that he was interacting with some people, chit-chatting with The Miz, including with Triple H. But however, because of his presence, Vince asked him to leave, which he did with no fuss, no muss. A lot of people are questioning why is he there if he's AEW. Well, that's the unanswered question. I cannot guess or speculate, but only time will tell until we find the real answer to that. Now, in relations to WWE, as you know, Roman Reigns continues only to defend the undisputed WWE title whenever it suits him. But however, Triple H announces for a brand new title wherever Roman Reigns lands, this title will be at the other. And this one is the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So this is going to be good. Now, final update coming from WWE. Bad Bunny has announced his return and he issued a challenge against Damian Priest at Puerto Rico for Backlash. This is going to be great. Originally, he was supposed to be the host, but now he's going to be wrestling. Now, interesting developments coming from Mercedes Moné. Recently, she posted a photo of the Renegade Twins, saying that she would like to have them in her Stardom faction. So basically, she is considering having a faction of her own, and I think the Renegade Twins are perfect. So it's still no indication yet if that's the case, but we'll wait. Now, in relations to everything else, New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced for her to be in the Long Beach event Resurgence, but however, they haven't announced an, the opponent that she'll be facing. But however, rumors were circulating that by both Brian Myers and Tom Lawler that believes that Julia will be Mercedes Moné opponent at Long Beach. Now, it's still no confirmation yet, but we'll see what happens. Now, Mercedes Moné has also put out that there is no dates for her for a tour with Stardom. We don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully she returns back, and like everybody would like to see her. Now, DEFY has announced for their upcoming event, Vertical, on the 13th of May. We have Nick Gage making his debut, which is going to be good. The PMV title that Shav holds, he will put it on the line against Black Taurus. The PCW Ultralight title is defended. The Bounty Hunter takes on Cody Chun. And finally, the DEFY Women's Championship for Vixen defends her title against Trish Adora, who debuts as well. For the upcoming Ring Wrestling Revolver event for Ring of Destiny, the Rascals make their return. This is going to take place on the 7th of June. AAA has announced for the Triplemania event taking place in July 18th. We're going to have, again, Hijo de Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. So this is going to be another good match. This is going to take place right across from San Diego at Tijuana, Mexico. I'm looking forward to that. House of Glory is announced for the Beware of the Fury taking place on the 19th of May. The Motor City Machine Guns will be facing against the main event. That's going to be good. A brand new promotion that started out called the Spark Yoshi Pro-Wrestling of America has announced they will be launching their first show later on in June called Ignite something. However, they even announced her U.S. debut here, Ram Kaicho, and this event will take place in LA. So I'm looking forward to that. One Pro Wrestling has announced for the Devil's Due event on the 10th of June. Will Ospreay will defend his 1PW championship against the very arrogance of Matt Cardona. So I can't wait to see how Will Ospreay deals with him. Now, members of the Dyad, Zach Gibson, known as Rip Fowler, James Drake, also known as whatever his name is. So anyway, they announced that they are not released from the company, even though they asked for it. But their contracts are set to expire on the 14th of October, so that's going to be good here. Recent developments came around about Chavo Guerrero demanding Rey Mysterio to stop using Eddie Guerrero's name. It's still unclear what's the purpose. Some people speculate maybe because Rey may be in support of Vicky Guerrero when now she's in a war against her own daughter, that sort of thing. We don't know if that's the case, but we'll find out. Now, interesting news. As you know, Suzuki left prominence, but however, this has came around. Her schedule for Golden Week has been put out. Let's see. So this is her schedule for that particular day. On the 29th, she will be facing against Aya Sakura. On the 30th, she teams up with Mei Seda. They take on Queen's Quest Zumi and Say Kamitani. On the 5th um, on the 3rd of May, we have Queen's Quest. Utami, Saya, and Lady C, they take on Zuki, Meisira, and of course uh, Yuna, Yuna Mizumori. So that's going to be interesting. Then on the 5th, she teams up once again with May. They take on the members of DDM, consistent of Tekla and Julia. And then after that, she teams up with May City once again. They take on Hanako and Jesse. And then after that, um, May Sarah deals with once again Julia and Tekla. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, Sareee, or as we know her, Sarray, makes her return. She announced for the 16th of June card has been announced. Sareee will be in a match against Chihiro Hashimoto. Jaguar and Nan Takahashi will take on Kuri Ito and an ex-partner. And after that, we have Arisa Nakajima and Akira versus Miyuki Takase and Nibuki Hoshi. Then, of course, we have the Kaiju uh, Riko Kaiju taking on Yurika Oka. So that's going to be interesting. So this is what we have for the upcoming matches in the Saree Chapter 1 event, which takes place on the 16th. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. As I said before, I'm trying to catch up with the GCW stuff as much as possible. I'm a little behind, but I seem to be catching up, so I'll try to do the best of my ability. Coming up, as you know, we have Tuesday Wrestling, which involves NWA Power, AEW Dark, and of course NXT. Now, if there's any other events that I'm planning to put before that, I'm willing to do that, but I'm trying to keep up with the GCW stuff as much as possible. So I think that's pretty much it for now, but I'll see you guys on next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.